my goodness, is this possible? Okay, no, we're not gonna immediately jump to conclusions like that, but I thought it would be funny to start today's show off with a photoshopped New York Rangers player in a different jersey and a non-New York Rangers player photoshopped in a Rangers jersey, if that makes sense. We did Alexis Lafreniere and the Red Wings earlier in the show, so today we are, of course, focusing on this handsome fella. Big shout out over to Alexandra, who went out there and tweeted this image of Auston Matthews as a New York Ranger. But of course, you might be wondering, what in the hell does that have to do with this video topic? Well, the reason this tweet popped up on my Twitter timeline is because it was responding to this. Travis Yost of TSN going out there and tweeting that the Toronto Maple Leafs are in real trouble. For the first time in a decade, the tweet reads, Toronto does not look playoff caliber, and if Treliving's team can't turn it around, they may be deadline sellers. And here's the thing. Deadline sellers does not automatically mean Auston Matthews to New York, but it does make for a fun, flashy, and creative way to open up this video, so I wanted to roll with it. It's funny. Let's dive into what exactly it is Yost talks about and what this graph means, too. Here are 5 years worth of Toronto shot differentials EV statistics. You can see that cumulative differential is right on the left side. It's our y-axis. You have 0, which is right in the middle there. And by game, let's just say 20-something, Toronto is in a spot where their shot differential is almost at negative 200. Now, in previous years, they have gone well above positive in their shot differential category, in particular that 2021 season. Oh yeah, they were out shooting teams like crazy. It was not even a contest. Last year, in 2024, Mitch Marner's last year, by the way, you saw the Toronto Maple Leafs really dip towards the negative 400 rating of shot differentials versus opponents. Yes, there are ups and downs. Yes, there are hot streaks and cold streaks. But really, this season in 2025 is the worst that the Toronto Maple Leafs have ever been in the shot differential category this far into the year. And, luckily for us, Travis Yost does go out there and provide an article which we're going to briefly highlight over here. Can you see that? No, I don't think you can see that. Yeah, there's a video playing of TSN Hockey, but I think they have some sort of a plugin on the website. Even if I play this video here and I scrub through it, you don't actually see that show up on the screen here, which is really interesting technology. But Yost published this a few days ago. The Maple Leafs are at a crossroads. The National Hockey League's regular season is 20% complete, and the Maple Leafs are at a crossroads. Deeply uninspired play has driven Craig Berube's perennial contender to a middling 8-9-2 start. And despite playing in the weaker Eastern Conference, the performance has been brutal enough to speculate if this team could be sellers at the deadline. Selling at the deadline would be an unconscionable thought over the past decade in Toronto, and specifically in the Auston Matthews era. But this Toronto team is being played off the ice at a rate we haven't seen in a long time. And unless they can pull themselves out of this tailspin, GM Brad Treliving and Toronto's front office are going to have an awkward lead-in to the March trade deadline. It's easy, and perhaps fair to some degree, to point to a meaningful goaltending regression. Last season's Maple Leafs team was not the typical even-strength juggernaut we had accustomed them to being, but the combination of Stolarz and Woll were sensational behind an improved Maple Leafs defense. But that's broken down considerably year over year, and Woll has only been available for one start at the time of this article's publication. You can see that Toronto goaltending performances last season were a lot better than they are right now. 1.06 goals saved above expected per 60 for all of Stolarz, Woll, and Hildeby last season. 912 save percentage as well this year. They are not in that statistical category at all. They are at an .882 save percentage, and their goals saved above expected per 60 is at negative .37. That's not good. And unfortunately, this is all coming down with a team that allows so many more shots than they actually throw towards their opponent's goal that it's getting to a point now where Toronto, I don't know if you can just say it's a bad start to the year. It seems like this team has a lot of issues that they're going to need to address. Yost does a pretty good job at adding some extra numbers over here. When you strip away the goaltending, the negative differentials start turning into routine regulation losses. What's remarkable is they actually could be worse. This is a team that's scoring on more than 12% of their shots at even strength, which is tops in the NHL. Toronto does have a collection of high-end shooters, but this degree of outperformance seems unsustainable. Their preceding 5-year average team shooting percentage is 10%. And if that breaks down, those shot differentials are going to lead to even bigger negative goal differentials. This is really not good. And essentially, you can sum it all up here by taking a look at this last sentence. The way the Maple Leafs are playing at this point, you see a team that's spending too much time defending the run of play, harkening back to the years of Randy Carlyle's Maple Leafs. And by the numbers, these Toronto skaters at even strength are not really showcasing too many positive results either. And so at the end of the day, when you think about the conclusion here, if this becomes a bigger issue for the rest of the year, I do wonder whether or not it's actually a possibility we see some big names getting sent out of this Maple Leafs team. Let's go back over to the article and read the conclusion. Coaches love preaching patience in these moments, and Berube has tried a similar approach. You don't want to panic publicly, and there's enough talent in this locker room to pull themselves out of the hole they have dug. But privately, I do wonder if concern is genuinely creeping in for now. For the first time in a long time, the Maple Leafs' playoff prospects are up for debate. Odds makers have priced it at a coin flip right now, an unimaginable fall for a team that had the 9th shortest odds to win the Stanley Cup in August. I think that says everything. Toronto needs to start winning, and now. Now, if you take a look at it, just take a look at the Leafs in their most recent NHL game. I mean, they're playing Columbus later today, which is, of course, going to happen. They did beat St. Louis the other night on Tuesday. So that is a pretty positive result for this Maple Leafs team. They also have themselves a loss to Chicago, and then they lost to the Kings, and then they lost to the Bruins, and then the Hurricanes, and then also the Bruins. Yeah, they lost, 5 games in a row? Not looking all too good, I would say. But if everything goes as badly as it could, maybe there is a world where an Auston Matthews to New York actually becomes possible. I don't know. I'm just spitting. I'm just responding to stuff that I see online, and I thought this was a funny image to toss into the thumbnail of this video. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about the Toronto Maple Leafs and how their play has gone down the past little while? It's really not looking good. And I want you to let me know how you feel in the comments section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.